Give it a moment or two for people to start filtering in, and we'll get on the way very shortly. Thank you for turning up nice and promptly. See the participant list starting to creep up a little bit. Okay, yeah, I'll just crack on with a few of the basic housekeeping things to begin with. So first of all, good afternoon and welcome everyone to today's call. It's lovely to see you here today. Just so you know, this call, this webinar, is intended to be recorded, and then yeah, the recording will be uploaded to both of our YouTube channels and websites and our Lumio pages. So yeah, if any of your colleagues are interested and weren't able to make it today, then it's definitely going to be available to rewatch at a later date and to share with other people. Okay. So, yeah, welcome to everyone who's joined us today for this event between the Energy Learning Network and Unity. I'm John Taylor, the Head of Capacity Building at Community Energy England. The Energy Learning Network is a UK-wide capacity building programme funded by the National Lottery's Climate Action Fund. And it brings together the four national community energy membership bodies. So that's us here in England, but Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland as well as other climate and energy organisations like Ashton and the Centre for Sustainable Energy. Today we are joined by Ewan Corley, who is the digital marketing lead at Unity. Ewan is going to be showing us some of the new features on a Community Energy Connect, which is a platform that helps groups manage, upskill, and attract fresh volunteers. We're currently in Community Energy Fortnight, and our theme is investing in community energy. That doesn't just have to mean investing money, but investing your time in community energy is just as important as well. So, yeah, volunteering, making this your day job, it's all about getting more professional skills and support into the sector. We'd like to make this webinar as interactive as possible, so if you do have questions for Ewan, please pop these in the Q&A and we'll get to those a little later. Yeah, so make use of the chat and Q&A features below, and we'll pick them up as we go along. Before I introduce you, and I just want to start with a quick introduction to Community Energy England. We were founded back in 2014 by practitioners within the community energy sector to act as their representative voice, connecting up community energy activity across the country and helping put people heart of the energy system and the net zero transition. Our membership has grown to over 320 organisations, the vast majority of those being community energy enterprises, with other supportive stakeholder groups, corporates and local authorities. All our work is intended to clear obstacles, create connections between practitioners and stakeholders, and facilitate the work of community energy organisations, thereby benefiting the sector as a whole. We work to make politicians, both national and local government officials, electricity network operators, aware of the benefits of community energy, and as well as highlighting the sector's needs and the opportunities and policy obstacles that are holding us back. This is to ensure that community energy organisations are able to play the best possible part and create new projects and be an active and important role in the energy transition, which is accelerating faster and faster with the Clean Power 2030 ambitions. If you want to find out more about our current policy work and activities, yeah, we have a policy and advocacy section on our website with active consultations and campaigns and policy responses. It's always good to get your voice behind those. There's currently one on community benefits and shared ownership of larger utility scale renewables, which will be a big feature of the landscape going forward. So I think that's it in terms of our introductions. Yeah, delighted to welcome Unity and Ewan. So over to you.
Cheers, John. Thank you very much for that introduction. Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for coming along to this showcase webinar of our Community Energy Connect platform. We're really excited to get it out for everyone, get everyone testing on it. We know some people might have experience with the previous platform, but we really think this new platform is taking it a level up, and we're excited to see its benefit to your projects. We're excited to launch it in Community Energy Fortnight. As John mentioned, the theme of investment, and we're really pushing for that investment of time from volunteers to really, again, like I said, level up these projects across the country. So we can't wait to get involved. Just for everyone, as we go through it, I'm just going to go through a bit of an agenda of what to expect from today's session. So I know I've looked at the participant list and I see a lot of friendly names and friendly faces. But for those people who are not quite sure who Unity are, we're going to do a brief introduction to ourselves, kind of the products and services we offer. We're then going to look at a brief synopsis on the old platform, as again, some people might not have had any experience with it, look at some of its limitations, and then excitingly look to the build and what we've done for this new platform, showcasing its key features, and then talking about some exciting features to come as well. We'll be sharing some tips, our plans moving forward with how to get the best volunteers possible, and then what's to come in the following days. So it's going to be really exciting, and I'll try not to rattle through it. I'll take my time, make sure that we can dive into it. And again, if any questions, please just pop them in. We'll go through them at the end. Okay, amazing. So the first big question is, who are Unity? So Unity, we're a joint venture between Octopus Energy and the Mid-Counties Co-op. We're combining the innovative and agile forward thinking of Octopus Energy with the values-driven cooperative model that your co-op will bring. Together, we've built what we believe is the ideal partnership, one that delivers impact, scale, and genuine commitment to people and planet. And now looking a bit more about what Unity do and how we're energizing community energy. So we support, our main bread and butter is supporting community energy through bespoke power purchase agreements. We're working with over a third of the sector by volume, which we're really proud of. And what sets us apart is our flexibility. We're partnered with generators regardless of size, whether they're a massive, 2.5 megawatt wind turbine or a 50 kilowatt hydro system. That's something that we're really proud of and is one of our key values. For groups that have PPAs with us, we also have a grant funding, so groups can apply to up to £3,750 to boost local projects. And we're pretty proud to have given away £80,000 worth of grant funding, supporting over 24 community energy groups. We also offer a £1.5 million kickstart loan to help groups boost new renewable generation projects, getting them off the ground. Most recently, this was used by Bristol Energy Cooperative in 2022. And they actually built the largest community-owned rooftop solar installation in the UK. Again, another project that we're really proud to have had our hand involved in. Finally, and focusing a bit more about what today is going to be on, we have our Community Energy Connect platform. So it's been piloted for about 18 months now, and during its pilot, it attracted over 250 members to join the platform. It sparked countless successful connections, and now with its full launch just around the corner in the next coming days, we're really hoping that this is going to revolutionize the community energy sector. So that's not putting much pressure on ourselves, but we're really proud of the work we put into it and our partnership, and we hope you guys will see that through and it will translate to kind of the volunteering opportunities that are on there. So a little bit about why we're doing this. Obviously, as a lot of us know, volunteers are the backbone of the community energy sector. Through the State of the Sector report last year, which obviously Community Energy England, Scotland and Wales have a hand in collecting all that data, we learned that over 80% of groups are volunteer-led. And one of the main challenges they have is running out of time and capacity issues. After, obviously, when we first brought about this platform, we ran some focus groups with groups in Bristol running interviews as well. And this one major issue came up again and again, and that is how hard it is to recruit and manage volunteers, saying it's a major blocker to growth. So what we did is we built a piloted platform called Community Energy Connect, and we ran it through Mighty Networks. In the short space of time we had it up, we had over 250 signups, and we even saw a brand new group start as a result of it. A volunteer got in touch, they got on the platform. It turned out that they had some of the relevant skills and they didn't even know they did. They also had the time and capacity themselves to set up their own group. So you get some really full circle narratives out of it, and it's an amazing piece that we're really proud of. So building on that, we've partnered with a group and we built something better, a smarter, more personalized platform that will connect skilled volunteers to groups faster. It will help build internal capacity and ultimately support more projects happening at scale across the UK. So I'm aware that not everyone on this call today would have used our old platform, but I think it's really important for me to address some of the limitations that we found when setting it up and why we've moved across to this new and improved platform. So just for a bit of context, our old platform was hosted by Mighty Networks, and it almost acted to make it a bit more relevant to people in their everyday lives. It almost acted like a Facebook feed. So a group would post an opportunity they had. Maybe they wanted a social media marketing manager. with a bit of information, but there'd be no fields, no like pre-existing fields that you'd have to fill in. After you'd posted a little bit about the role that you're trying to get some help for, it would be out there on the timeline. However, as more groups would post more roles, your role would then obviously push further down the timeline, and ultimately it could mean that you'd be missing out on vital volunteers that would be perfect for your opportunity. So, in addition to that, there was a lack of an efficient notification system on there. So it's no good building this platform to deal with time and capacity issues if groups are going to have to take time out of their days to check on a weekly or fortnightly basis to see if anyone's actually applied for your volunteering opportunity. As well as this, there was no real ability to capture any data. So you know it's helpful for funding applications to know exactly how many hours have been put into each specific role of, or each specific project of the build. There's a confusing sign-up journey. It would be steps where you'd have to go away and read T&Cs off platform to then come back in and apply to join. We know that capturing a volunteer's attention, you might only have that for a couple of minutes when they're feeling motivated, and you really need to have a smooth user sign-up journey to to remove any barrier to them jumping on the platform. And finally, something that's really important to us, and later on throughout this presentation, you'll see examples of where we've implemented this. We think it's really important to be able to customize the platform bottom up. We've built this as a free tool for community energy groups, and therefore we want to listen to what you have to say, ways to edit it, ways to make it better, ways to make it breathe into more of what you need to do and make those changes for you. That's something that we really feel strongly about. So a little bit about what's to come. We're really excited to announce that we've partnered with Volunteering Champions Do It. So they've built the UK's biggest database of volunteers to get involved with, and it's completely free for members of the public to join. They've had 750,000 users accounts signed up, so they're second to none in this field. They also started in 2002, so they've got over 20 years of experience, obviously making them a sector leader. So it was amazing for us to partner with them. One of the most exciting aspects is that they also run the Big Help Out, which is a week-long volunteering drive that's partnered with the royal family, aimed at getting Britons to get into volunteering. Do It built the platform in 2024, and it got over 6 million people involved into volunteering. The reason that we've had the opportunity to partner with them is simply because that the Big Help Out's taking a rest year this year, so they've split off to find individual organisations they want to build custom platforms for. And luckily enough, we were one of them. We might think it's lucky, but then after we spoke to them about community energy, the sector, the stories, and the thing that's done, I think they were chomping at the bit to get involved with it as well. So it's worked both ways, and they've really been brought on board and really see the full mission and the values, which is great to see. So again, that's just a bit of a background of where we've gone to and where we've gotten to. And I think the best thing for me to do is to hop online, give you guys a demonstration of the platform, show you some of the key features, and hopefully a lot of you will see why these are major upgrades. Just to preface before we go into this, there will be a resource pack that's sent out to everyone. So don't feel like you're going to have to remember any of this or take notes or anything like that. We've tried to make it as simple as possible. So if you just sit back and maybe if you have any questions, again, pop them in the Q&A section at the bottom. But please just listen and yeah, just try and take it all in. But there's no pressure to remember anything because we'll be sending it across. I'm just going to briefly swap to a different tab. So give me 1 second. Perfect. I'll also just zoom in a bit because I also am pretty aware that I like things as zoomed out as possible, and that might not be the what everyone else has in mind. So just so everyone can see. I'm hoping that's a bit more visible. If anyone has any issues with what they can see, please just whack it in the chat, and I'll try and amend it. But like I said, we'll be sending video footage as well as in the resource pack, and this is being recorded, so you'll be able to watch it at your own convenience whenever you want to. Okay, so welcome to the new Community Energy Connect platform. we're really excited by it. We're really excited by our partnership with Do It as well. We can't wait to get some people involved and some people on the platform testing it out, trying to break it, hopefully not breaking it. That's the main thing, but really getting to grips with it and exploring all the updated functionality that we've built into it. So like I previously mentioned, we have had a lot of signups into our piloting platform, which was on the Mighty Networks feature. Those groups will be migrated over to the new platform. They've had some communications about this. All the pre-existing volunteers will be migrated as well. So it's exciting that they will already be automatically joining the groups, and that there'll be people in there and there'll be opportunities on there from the start. Something that was really key for us too. So one of the main aspects that we wanted to bring into this new platform was bringing through the character and the stories of community energy and of community energy groups. That's one of the main selling points, is the work that we do in the communities. So shining a light of that was almost one of the main priorities. As I previously mentioned on the old platform, individuals would be posting on behalf of groups. So firstly, there wasn't too much of a professional feel about that, even though we are in a relatively informal sector. But also it's really hard to capture all the amazing work you've done and spin a narrative on what you're doing and why people should get involved. Again, which may not hinder volunteers, but it puts them on the back foot of to watch group to get involved in. So it was really important for us to have that profile feel and that profile element. So you can do that when you set up. When people get their bespoke link set in for community energy groups, they'll be prompted with lots of questions to answer, giving a bit more examples of the projects you're working on, how your group's set up, and you can even include pictures to really bring it to life. For those groups that have migrated over, I've done a lot of your legwork, and I've gone through your websites, I've dipped through everything, I've found some of your pictures, and I've found your values and your missions, and I've included them for you. However, there could be the point where you want to update this, and this goes for all groups. There might be, as time moves on, you might get new projects, you might want to update some pictures, you might find out that your values have slightly changed, slightly adjusted for what you're actually going for, which is completely understandable. So at any point after you've logged in and you've set up, you'll have the ability to amend your community energy group profile. What you'll do is here on this homepage, you'll see in the top right-hand corner, you have the menu option button. I'll click through this menu option button and I'll be able to press organization settings. Here, you can see this is the Unity page, obviously, that we've set up. You can see a bit of basic information about our profile and about our purpose. So we're here to energize, as you guys heard earlier, but I mean, I'll push the spiel again for anyone who's new. We're here to energize community energy through power purchase agreements, volunteers, and funding. That's our bread and butter. And that's the main thing we might want people to understand when they come across our profile. We can then highlight our causes. So community, sustainability, heritage, and the environment, things that are really important to us. I'm just going to open this up a little bit so you can see. Amazing. So something that, again, is important to give that professional element. It might be relevant for your group, it might not be, is that you can update your group, you can update your organization into different groups. So we've got the marketing group, which I'd fit under, and our community renewable managers, Connie and Jess, who I think are also in this call. When they join in, they can come under the energy markets group. So it's a good way to see and keep track of your volunteers in one simple motion. We've then added a bit more of a description into what we do and who we are, again, just to give potential volunteers a bit more of an understanding of our end goals and what we're working towards. And then obviously our contact information, a URL to our website, again, just delivering a bit more of a professional element. So from this, you can see that when posting an opportunity, you're on the front foot when communicating to these volunteers. It's coming from a professional background, but you'll also still have the ability to get through that personal feel and bring through all the characteristics that make your community energy group unique through your purpose, through pictures of what projects you're doing. Again, something that was really important to us to get across, and something that we think will translate really well to getting volunteers to run with their imaginations about getting involved with the group. It's quite an interesting point as well that I've heard, is that could this be a barrier to groups that's in the process of setting up and they maybe don't have a website set up yet? They're not too sure on their purpose. I don't think so. Again, all these points can be edited throughout any point of your journey. And one of the key things that I've noticed in the community energy sector is that honesty goes a long way. Everyone's here to help. So I think having that kind of vulnerability and honesty, and not having a description of say this is something that we're working towards, really capture volunteer spirits who want to be involved for that full journey and want to be involved from the start of a group's inception to the end. Again, something I think will be really important and not a barrier, something to kind of grab hold of. But so that would be your organization settings, setting up your account. Like I said, some groups have migrated across. When a group, after this call, will be sending through bespoke links for groups to sign up with, and you'll be prompted to put all this information in. You can fill out to the best of your ability, but like I've just shown you, there's an easy way to come in and edit at any point. So as things change, you'll always have the ability to edit those things. So the next key feature I'd like to show you all is about posting a volunteering opportunity, because that's what it's all about, and that's why we're here today. So here, as you can see, there is a menu on the left-hand side, Home, Activities, Network, Insights. We're going to click on this Activities tab. Perfect. So this is taking me through to my Activities Hub. And the first thing that I would like to show you all is about posting a new opportunity. So here on this main page, in this top right-hand corner, you can see a blurred out box saying new activity, and that is the one that we're going to click on. Clicking through this new activity is then going to prompt a second pop-up, and this is the process that you go through to posting about a volunteering opportunity. Something that, again, was a limitation in the old platform is that there's so many different types of opportunity. By posting them all into one kind of section, really doesn't do justice to the variation that happens within the community energy sector. So what we've gone for is a three-pronged approach. Here on the left, you can see you have the opportunity to post a new event. That would be a one-off volunteering opportunity at a specific time during a specific place. The perfect example of this is, I believe, Energize South Downs had a viewing early this week where they showed the Patagonia film about community energy, answered questions and things like that from members of the public. If you wanted some volunteers to help at that drive, that would be a new event. You'd post that as a new event because that's a one-off opportunity and it's happening at a specific time at a specific location. So it might only be appropriate for groups who live in the local area. The next is a new action. This again would be a one-off activity, but it could happen at someone's own discretion from the comfort of their own home perhaps. So an example of a new action would be if there was, if you wanted someone, a skilled volunteer, to review a feasibility studies. This is something they could do at their own home, but it's only a one-off event. Alternatively, I know Croydon Community Energy recently did some leafleting drives. That would be a new action. It would be a one-off event where the individual could do it at a time that suited them. And finally, something that might be a bit more relevant to what some groups in here are looking for, but this is a new ongoing opportunity. So this would be a slightly more committed individual getting more involved with the group. An example would be how recently I did some social media marketing on a 20-hour basis for Croydon Community Energy during their most recent share offer. So just an obvious example like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click through to this new ongoing opportunity. Perfect. And as you can see, already moving ahead of our old platform is you've brought towards prompts about what you're going to be posting about. We've done this to try and capture as much information that you can give us about the volunteering opportunities. And the reason for that is when we're, again, capturing the attention of these volunteers, we want to give them as much information as possible, shine a light on your community energy group in the best way possible to really get them excited about getting involved. So our platform is actually set down into two sections. You have the connection opportunities, which is what we're on here, which is where you find the volunteers. And we also have something called Connect Learning, which is something we're really proud of. And it is a section of this platform that has a lot of workshops and courses that you can take to upskill in things like power purchase agreements, with social media studies. One of our partners at OnGen have done a brilliant course on feasibility studies as well. So that's another section of the platform, which I'll actually dive into a little bit later on throughout this presentation. But to begin with, we're going to be kicking on the Connect opportunities, as that is the volunteering hotspot. Perfect. So now it's just going to ask me for some basic information about the role that I'm advertising. And like I said, this is a prolonged period of someone who's going to be slightly more involved with the group. So just as it's something I've done previously, I'm going to talk about this social media marketing manager. Perfect. Again, just before I go into this, spelling's pretty hit or miss with me. Today we're gonna say it's gonna be a hit, and it's definitely not what you'd expect from someone in marketing, but I'll try my best. You know, be gentle, please. So obviously this is a volunteering role. So in the category that's fixed on volunteering, and the cause, depending on slightly what your group might be about or what the role is going for specifically, you have a little bit of autonomy in cause, but again, you can add both if you think it's more required. Okay, so we're talking more about the description of your group now. So here it's really imperative to give as much information as possible about the volunteering opportunity. Um, you don't need to specifically go into things about hours, as that will be captured later, but what the day-to-day of the role might actually involve. So for social media, you might want someone to come to events, bear with me, document or help with the campaign of the share offer, and help us take professional photos of our projects, as well as running the day-to-days. Again, I've just really briefly put in a prompt there. When you're actually running this, I can't emphasize enough, the more detail you can go in, the better. But I'm just conscious of, hopefully when you're writing this, you won't have 34 participants watching you, but I'm just conscious to keep everyone's attention and to keep it moving forward. I've just been a slightly more brief here than I would like to be. Perfect. So then you have some more options about where the volunteering opportunity will take place. Again, this is for the benefit of the potential volunteers. You might find that some of these are more accurate as to which type of volunteering opportunity you're promoting. So if it's a one-time event, you might find it's actually a bit more outdoors. Like I know Repowering London have a stage at the Lambeth County Show here in London, which will be an outdoor, which is something good to disclose. Again, it might be washing solar panels, which would be good to disclose as being outdoors, just to give your volunteers or potential volunteers as much information as possible. But again, it might change. You might want them to be at share offers. You might want them to be meeting members of the public. But then they have the ability to work from their home if they're building campaigns like a social media marketing manager could be. Now we come to, again, some of the more specific fields. So there might be some requirements for your role. You might want the individual to be over 18. One of the benefits of COVID, one of the small benefits is you can get involved with projects anywhere from across the UK. It's given us that ability. But for community energy projects, you might want someone to live local, especially how in this instance, they're going to be taking pictures of some projects and helping at local share offers. So must live locally could be a requirement in this situation. Something else that we've built into the platform is we know that one of the amazing things that happens within community energy specifically is a lot of groups work to motivate the next generation. There's so many groups going to schools or running after school clubs to really promote energy literacy and information about climate change, which is something that I'm personally so proud of about this sector. It's a real big selling point for me. And because of that, again, you might be going to schools. You might need someone to have up-to-date background checks as a prerequisite to even apply for a role or apply for a voluntary position. So we've included that as well, just to give you, as a community energy group, as much information about the volunteers applying for the role as possible. In this specific example, background checks aren't necessary for the social media marketing manager, but if you're doing a one-off event in a school, if you're doing anything like that, it would be obviously a requirement. So what do the participants need to bring? This one, we've given groups complete autonomy because we know that what you need from a participant will change completely. And it changes from project to project, and two groups might be on the same project and things would still change just due to their needs and due to where they are in the country. So here you can literally type in anything, press enter, and it will populate. An example for a social media marketing manager might just be, an iPhone camera. Let's just say phone camera. I don't want to put anyone off. So phone camera, you press enter and it adds it to the application. You want some video editing software because we want to get some good content on our social media accounts. Things like that is key to add, again, as much information about what you want from the participant at this point. Another example of what could be here from a different volunteering opportunity. Again, we've talked about maybe cleaning up solar panels, waterproofs might be essential. Walking boots, anything like that. So just as much information as you can pop in here would really benefit the volunteers. Again, this is another section in which you get complete autonomy within your post. What will the participants receive? It changes from groups to groups. It could be a free lunch every time there's an event. And like that, you type it in, you press enter, and it's added to your application. Something that we've really pushed towards, again, which I'll touch on later on in this presentation, is diversifying our volunteer base. We want to push out to as many people as possible. And part of the groups of individuals that we're targeting here at Unity during this push is the younger generation, is young people, where getting that detailed in-depth experience is a real challenge. And something that a lot of community energy groups have is some really expert knowledge, some incredible knowledge in fields like engineering, electrical engineering, business, anything like that. And that is something that people would really attract people to your groups. So you might be willing to actually provide a reference after a good job's been completed. This is really going to test my spelling. So close, so close. Reference. Again, having that autonomy really helped me there. But yeah, providing a reference is a really good way to attract those younger generations. And again, it would have to be informal, nothing too serious. And then the targeted number of hours. How many hours could you imagine that this volunteering opportunity would go on for? It's a really handy way to let volunteers maybe know what they're getting into from the start. And it's a good way for them to censor potentially what groups they want to go for and what opportunities they want to go for. They might be wanting to dip their toe in. Like we talked to earlier on in the presentation, we've had someone before who's had such incredible amounts of time that they've actually gone and set up their own group. So that really changes from individual to individual. Okay, something that we've really pushed for, again, to level up the opportunity posting, which wasn't even an option on the old platform, is the ability to add in some images. Again, like I've previously spoke about, the rationale for this is just to get through all the character. Putting photos of your groups at events is a really good way to pull this across. Getting group pictures of your projects. So there's so many award-winning groups now, which is brilliant to see for the growth of the sector. That brings real credibility to your application and might be where people want to get involved. So this is a really handy tool to add images in. So again, all you'd have to do is press this upload image button, and then you'll be able to upload anything that's on your computer. So we've tried to make it as simple as possible, and the ability to have two makes it so you don't have to pick and choose. You won't have to put down your logo for your group because this will be posted from your group's account. So it really gives you free reign to post whatever you think would capture people's attention the most, whatever you think breathes a bit more life into your group. So it's a really handy tool to have. Okay, I'm just going to skip through this just for the sake of it. When I show you a volunteering, an example of a volunteering post a bit later on, I populate some images and you'll be able to see how they come across. And I think you'll agree that they come across really well. Perfect. And then similar to that first pop-up we have, just to give encompass as much information as we can for the potential volunteers. We've got some location options for where your volunteering opportunity will be based. From home, potentially if they're just reviewing some documents. It could be happening in multiple locations, which is the most likely outcome for this social media marketing role that we're publicizing at the minute. Here you have the ability to add in as many locations as possible. Again, just to give them as much information as you can. But just for the simplicity and just obviously I'm conscious that we're in a call with all you guys, I'm just going to do from a single location today. Okay, so here in the place, you have the opportunity to type in wherever your base may be, wherever you want to capture the most volunteers and when you want to get people's attention from. I've put in what may or may not be my home address, but that's where I'm just going to go through because it's one that sticks in my head. Previously, as I mentioned, when you're highlighting different types of opportunities, you're going to want to attract different types of volunteers. You're going to want to attract different amounts of volunteers. If you're leafleting, you might want 10 volunteers. If you're going to school, 5. If you are, like Energize South Dan said the other day, hosting or presenting showcasing a video about community energy as a share offer, you might actually want no volunteering limit. You might want as many people involved as possible to spread the word. For a role like this, a social media marketing role, maybe a finance director for your group, anything like that, you might just want a single applicant, but you get full autonomy again of how many people you want applying for a role. And then lastly, although we really have put a push to capture as much information as possible in these opportunities, we do know that some people would have gone to great lengths to have a really professional job specification on their website, which is completely understandable. Especially as obviously this platform is going out only now, and there's been roles that have been publicized for coming months. So in order to not make that a hindrance and not to duplicate any work, you can also input the external application link here, especially because that would give a volunteer a much better user experience to be able to hop between the two, be able to find out any information they want, and again, adding that credibility to a group. As you can see, it's optional, it's not required, so it's there if you need it. You then have the option to publish the opportunity here on the right-hand side, which is perfect. And then you get brought towards this little pop-up window. Something that, again, we've really pushed for is we know that social media is playing a bigger role in the space and in life in general. You have the ability there just to copy the active URL, because you might want to post that in group chats, you might want to post that to your profile, you might want to post it on Instagram or Blue Sky or anything like that, just to spread the word as far as possible. And we wanted to give you that option. Again, it stops you duplicating work, and it means you can share it far and wide to whoever may need it. So I'm just going to close this now. Amazing. Something that I also wanted to highlight is that I know as you post specific roles, things change. You might a role might be active for 2 weeks, it might be active for a month before you get a nibble. It might only be active for a couple of days, which is what we're hoping, which is with the quality of volunteers that we have, we think will be the likelihood, and the motivation behind them, we think that will be the likelihood. But it could be up for a week and something could have changed within your organization. You might have gone to a brilliant event and got some really stellar photos. Here you have the opportunity to, on the activities tab, this is where we posted the opportunity here. Just under this activities button on the right hand side, you can come down to all your pre-existing opportunities, press these 3 buttons and edit your activity. Here, you'll be able to update any of the information easily and quickly, add any new photos you might want to add, without having to create a whole new post. Again, taking away from that duplication of work, and we really wanted to give you the best foot forward to kind of capture volunteers' abilities. Again, we don't want to take away from your time and capacity. We want to make it all as simple as possible. Okay. Again, this bit takes some slight imagination, because the platform's not live yet, and it will be live in the following from this, which is really exciting. Is that this is where, again, that was a one-person applied role. When volunteers click on that application, when it's captured there and they might want to connect to it or apply to it, this is where their applications will come through. They will populate here, giving you a bit more information about each individual who's volunteered for the role. Something, again, as I mentioned, this is a bottom-up piece of free tool that we've built for community energy groups that we're going to be customizing for everyone. So we ran some paid testing with a number of groups in the sector, and one of the pieces of feedback they gave us was that this originally said rejected applications, and they thought that sounded a bit too harsh, and it's not within, keeping within the space. I couldn't agree more. That actually, I can't believe we didn't think of it. That's 100% something that should be in keeping with the space. We've changed it to declined applications, hoping to still keep people motivated to keep on applying for different roles. Additionally, to stop kind of an awkward interaction between groups and applicants, if an applicant isn't, doesn't have the relevant skills to be a finance director, maybe they don't have the experience, and you might want to shoehorn them into a different role, or they might not just be the right fit for your group. When you decline an application, it sends a really polite and encouraging message to the volunteer. The goal is to keep them motivated and actually shoehorns them into a role that we think might be better suited for them. So it is a well thought through process, again, with the key goal to keep people motivated and keep people in the sector so they can really elevate as many projects as possible across groups. So again, I just now want to hop onto this networking tab on the left-hand side, which is where you'll find your volunteers from group. If you want to actually do some searching, this is your opportunity to do it. So you can search or expand your network by 3 features. You can search by location, you can search by name, or one of the creme de la creme, one of our prize pieces on this platform is that we actually have a skills filter process, which we're really proud of, and it took a lot of work to get right. So Again, maybe you're running a share offer and you want some marketing help, which makes sense. That's why you've just posted that role. You can have a click on this filter section here. And what we've tried to do is we've tried to come up with as many skills as a community energy project might need, and include them in this. Again, bottom up. If there's more come out. There's comes out. We haven't thought of some. We have the ability to add them and amend them at any time. So the user experience from this is that when a volunteer signs onto the platform, they're asked to disclose what credible skills they have in a pop-up. And that's what will match them through to your opportunities here. So for example, we might be after someone who has experience in social media marketing, networking, campaigning, event management, marketing strategy, maybe not public relations. And we'll filter that. And then what will come through is all the volunteers on the platform who have told us that they have these skills. This is brilliant. You know, look at the amount of people coming through that can feasibly help our group. We're really proud of this. But our group is big. We've got a lot. This is a big pool of volunteers. Let's find someone who's maybe slightly closer who can really help out where we need them to. So now we've utilized the search by location feature, and still you can see a lot of people based in this area of London where we want to base, which is perfect. Although, admittedly, I am looking for one specific person, and here he is down at the bottom. So brilliant. You know, you can see the amount of people who've disclosed skills and have disclosed that they live in that specific area of London. And we found an individual, maybe we've heard of them, maybe we think just by looking at their relevant experience, they'd be a good fit, and we can go through and we can view their profile. This is where you get a bit more of an in-depth view on the person. You get to see their contact information, their age, and most importantly, you get to see the skills that they have disclosed that they have, the ability to provide to your group. After this, you can send them an invitation to connect to the volunteering opportunity, and that's where you can obviously move forward with getting them involved in your projects. What will be implemented in the future, and we just can get it done just in time for now, is that there will be a chat box feature embedded here, so you can keep this all on platform and you can keep talking to them throughout. Again, keeping it all full circle. Something that we're really, really pushing for and will be released soon. So we're really excited about that as well. Amazing. So I'm just going to click off this profile and I'm going to go across here to my bear with me. There we are. So I'm just going, I think it's just because I've got so many tabs open, sadly. So I'm going to go here to my connections tab section of the networking feature. And here is where you can add people to your group. Something that's really exciting is if you have met someone externally who is but you still want to get them on this platform. Maybe you want them to apply for an opportunity that you have on this platform. You can send them a direct link to sign up, and then they'll pre-populate within your group's little hub. Again, something we worked really hard to get in place, and something that we think will really be a game changer. Again, in elevating the professional element of your group, something that we're excited about. But yeah, again, these are the key features that I just wanted to talk through. The posting of opportunities, the managing your activities, and then using the network feature to find those connections. Again, the skills tagging feature, if I can emphasize again, it is something that we're really proud of and worked hard of. Skills can be added to it, and the volunteers are prompted to disclose their skills at the start of when they're getting involved with the group. Okay, that comes to the end of me showcasing the platform. What I'm going to do now is there's still some elements of the presentation that I want to go through. So I'm just going to go back to my presenting slide. So just give me 1 second. Hopefully it goes off without a hook, but you never be too careful tech. Bear with me just 1 sec. Perfect. I'll just give it 1 second just in case it's a delay on anyone's end. There should be. Amazing. So I'm just going to rattle through the last little bits just so we do have time for Q&A. So we've just done a little bit of an upgraded tour of the platform, and now we're going to talk about some of the extra features coming soon. So I talked that we have that connect learning element of the platform, which is really exciting. There's going to be some courses on there for groups to make the most of. Things about social media, things about PPA. Like I've talked about, one of our partners, Ongen, have made a brilliant course on feasibility studies. They will be added to the platform and are on the platform at the minute as PDF stills. They'll be embedded in the weeks to come, giving a lot more usability going through, which we're really excited about. Also, the data insights feature that we've worked really hard on. So groups will be able to capture information about the volunteering hours that they've done, which again was highlighted during the paid user testing, is crucial for when writing funding applications. You really be able to quantify how much emphasis, how much time was spent on each project. Again, something that we're really excited about, and something that we'll think will capture the attention of corporate partners and groups like that. Cool. So the next, I'm just going to quickly go over some tips to make the most of it. Firstly, I think it's just to explore the platform in full. There's so much on there to discover, and there's a lot of functionality that you can get out of it. Again, I kind of rush through things there potentially, but I'll be sending through some resources. There'll be some resources pinned on our website. This is also recorded, so you'll be able to revert back to these whenever you may need to. Something that I really did try to get across was adding detail and personality to your activities and to your profiles. It's a really good way to get volunteers, grab their imagination, get them wanting to be involved with your group. And we all do such amazing things within the sector. There's an unbelievable amount of amazing stories that go on constantly. So this will be a really good opportunity to bring those to life. Keep your organization's profile up to date with all the most recent updates in your projects as well. And then you can use the networking feature to go out there and find the volunteers that you think will be right for you, as well as putting as much information as possible on an opportunity and waiting for them to come to you. You have both options. So we've really tried to make it as easy as possible for everyone to get involved. So what's our plan to help you? So like I've mentioned, we've hosted some testing before in the design element of the platform to figure out what people wanted it to do. After its development, we've then hosted user testing as well, getting some feedback. We've even implemented some of those changes already. So once you've been on the platform, been played around, have questions, you ask questions to us, we'll answer them, and we can amend the platform as needed. We can do whatever it needs and whatever it takes. Like I said, we're bringing in skilled volunteers with partnership, with value-led partnerships that we think will relate to the community energy mission. We've had corporate meetings in the build of this, and I've got corporate meetings in the after this. We've got multiple meetings with corporate partners, so there's a real excitement around it. And when we've showcased it to individuals like that, they're really excited to get on board, get their workforce on board. So there's a real emphasis for groups to go out there and to put their opportunities on board, because we think you'll get some really skilled individuals who will be motivated enough and bring a professional element and wanting to get on board with your project. Finally, one of the things that we're keen on, we think will really elevate this platform as well, is that we're wanting to go out and make a plan to help diversify the sector. Like I previously mentioned, that we're going to do a lot of engagement with young people. We've already made contact with loads of universities up and down the country, students' unions, to get in contact with recent graduates and graduates who are coming to the end of their university careers, making them excited about the amazing things that we do in community energy. As well as that, we've been using our profiles on social media and our well-established audiences to talk to faith groups and community leaders, to get them hopefully more involved within the platform, to showcase what they can do within it. Because obviously it's community energy, it's community-based. We need all of the voices within our community to be heard and to be involved to make it an accurate representation. And we're also doing this with targeting groups up and down the country. We're not localizing it to one group or one area. We know that for this to be accurate and to have an impact, it needs to be done across the country. Amazing. So just what's next? So like I said, and some of you might have had some emails about this already, if you're on that previous platform, existing users will be automatically migrated over for a smooth transition. Like I mentioned, I've gone in there and I've set up your accounts, I've gone through your websites, and I've looked at trying to get your missions and your values across. But there's also that ability for you to edit it anywhere that's been updated, anything you think you can add a bit more detail to, that's amazing too. New users, they'll easily be able to set up their group profile with mission, values, and plans as well through a bespoke link that will go out after this meeting in the following days, along with a resource pack. So, like I said, if you can't remember specifically how a certain thing's done, there'll be this recording, there'll be the resource pack, and we've also recorded some videos of each individual process as well, that has audio on top of it, just talking through. So there really isn't a need to stress it. You should be able to get through it. And next is just to post and update volunteering opportunities anytime. And remember, you don't need to get it perfect on that first time because you'll have the ability to go back and amend. I really can't stress the importance of just getting things out there, having a play with it, and posting what you need help with. Like I previously mentioned, we're going to be going to some great organisations, and we've already gone to some great organisations who are keen to get on board. So just make sure that you're again bringing character to your group and you're posting what you need help with, and we'll be sure to get you that help. That's going to really elevate the projects. And then finally, like I previously mentioned, there'll be guides and support will be provided, helping you to write strong posts, talking about key features and key functionality, along with the videos and along with this recording. Okay, amazing. I know picked up the pace slightly towards the end, but I wanted to make sure that we had time for a Q&A because I could see there was a couple of questions that came through. But alternatively, as you are exploring the platform, playing with the platform, using those resources, but again, I understand that tech can be confusing and tech can be most importantly slightly frustrating at times. So feel free to reach out to me personally or drop an email to the inbox and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.
That's brilliant. And yeah, fantastic. Thank you very much, Ewan. And thanks to Unity, shows, yeah, you're far more supportive of the sector just beyond the PPAs and the power purchase. You really do go beyond to, yeah, champion what we do and out there on the socials and, yeah, like I say, making these connections and to grow the expertise within the sector too. So we've got a bit of time to go through some of the questions that came in there. Yeah, I think, yeah, whether it's existing groups, we've seen our more established members, they're trying to bring newer members into the team to kind of keep the organization running. These are long-term projects, so you need that succession. Or whether it's, new people trying to get into the sector, build a team with the kind of breadth of skills that you need to deliver community energy. This looks like a really powerful platform. So you got a question here from Stefan. Some of these are technical, some of these are kind of more
Yeah.
so what data from the platform is available as open data, and can it be incorporated with other platforms like their open wind energy?
Yeah, I've actually spoken to Stefan about it before in other aspects of what we do here at
Mhm.
Unity. And at the minute, so the data that we're capturing at the minute is predominantly on demographic of support and is also going to be on hours spent on each project. As I said, as the platform is going to go live, this dashboard hasn't been built, so we're going to have to download all the information as a CSV, and then I'll be giving it to the relevant groups. And it will also be when the dashboard is live, it will be backlog the data. In terms of it being open reach, I'm not entirely sure. If it's something that, like I know wewantwind.org went live this week with their website, if it is a potential of a collaboration and share of information that you might be interested in, that's definitely something we can talk about potentially after the call and once I've spoken to developers about the full capability of the data that we'll be capturing.
Okay, cool. Yeah, a question here from Helen. Can you change the account email address, or would you have to delete the account and make a new one?
No, you have the ability to change your email address. You can make it all customizable. I actually, in the build up to making this platform, I made like a silly little community energy UN account just so I could really go through and try and have as much fun as possible. And I did it yesterday. I updated the email to the relevant one for our group, so it's all customizable. It's all hopefully really intuitive to use as well.
Okay, question from Austin. So how many volunteers are already on this platform, and does it link directly to the 750,000 people on Do It?
So the Do It already have 750,000 active volunteers. There won't be that many on the platform. I'm not entirely sure on the exact number to begin with. I do know that Do It do have that many people on their mailing list as well, which they've given us full access to. So when we're promoting these, promoting the community energy space and promoting the platform and also promoting groups and the opportunities on there, we will be able to tap into that demographic, which we're really excited about. And again, was one of the key features that we really push for.
Cool. And a question here from Ian. This is about from the volunteers' point of view. So it sounds like you're approaching some big companies to upload their staff onto the platform, but is there a scope for professional consultants to offer their services here too? And then does that then lead to opportunities for grant funding to pay for professional services as well?
Yeah. So That's a really good question from Ian. We've actually spoken, so like I mentioned, we did some paid testing throughout this with groups. I think it might have been potentially Grimsby who also brought up a similar point about the ability to advertise paid roles on there. At the minute, what we focus on as a group is it's going to be volunteering based as it goes out, but it is something that the previous platform did allow for paid roles. I think we're going to see how it goes, and then again, we have the autonomy to change it at any point. Listen to the feedback from yourselves, and if it's a service that you think is genuinely required, we have the ability to build in that separate development as well. Something I just want to speak and something I prepped, and I don't see an answer here. I don't see a question here about it, but I do think it's actually worthwhile saying is this partnership that we have with Do It is extended past just the building of this platform. We have the ability to customize it, to add in these little features, add in anything, add in volunteering, hosting opportunities, um, add in potentially a paid element to it for funded roles as well. That it's not going to be a categorical no. It's going to be a if we see the need for it and if enough groups come to us saying that they think it's relevant, we'll have the ability to work with the developers to build it into the platform as well, which is exciting.
Excellent. Quick question here. Do potential volunteers need to make an account before they're able to see opportunities? Or
No, so you'll be able to, with that link, so is that from Ben White? You can
yeah,
see that there was like a hyperlink, wasn't there, that you could take and you could put it into a social media post. You can always see a preview of what it's about, but then it would obviously prompt the volunteer to, if they're not on the platform, to make an account, and that might be the best way for them to actually physically apply for the role.
okay, good. There's a question, Helen, again about volunteers who live locally. I think you went through the search feature there of how to
Mhm.
siphon out the kind of people who are closer to your project.
Yeah, so it's a really good question, Helen, and it's something that it's one of those split things where one of the benefits, like I mentioned, of COVID is that you can work from anywhere and do anything. So it maybe extends the pool of volunteers you have access to. But with community energy and the projects being local and a lot of the benefits happening locally as well, it does make sense to sometimes have someone who lives within the local area. So when you are searching using that networking feature, there's three search functions specifically: location, name, and filter by skills. I'd always recommend using the filter by skills one if you know a specific role you're going for. But if you just want to get people excited and involved in a local project, you can definitely search by location, pop in the postcode, and then when a volunteer has set up their account, if I don't know if you can remember, like I showed you, you'll be prompted to put in the address of where you live, and that then it will obviously filter through to people in your local area. So that's another key feature again that we're really happy to have integrated into the platform.
Okay, question here from Natasha on the where and when page. Wasn't didn't see a when box. And
Yeah,
then yeah, can you specify the hours people need to commit to?
cool. So the when and where page, it depends on the type of activity that you're doing. So if you're doing that so it was single opportunity in a fixed time and location, it will be populated on the last page. So you add the when and where. So 7 p.m. in the local town hall with a specific postcode. That's where the prompt will be. Sorry, I've just got the question up now, so I just want to make sure I read it. Was there something to say how many hours? Yeah. So it was the last. So obviously, when you go through there will be videos explaining this as well. But I'll just talk through it and I'll just try and visualize it in my head. So when you click the new activity, you brought to that box with the three separate types of opportunity. You click on the opportunity that most relevant to the kind of volunteering role that you're advertising. The last box on that page will be hours that you think it will target hours that you think it will be relevant to. I think I put in 20 just because that was something similar that I did in the past.
Yeah, running short on time. We've got a couple of questions from John Moore. I guess local groups can sometimes struggle to engage big employers locally, but with you behind them, I guess that might make the job of marketing the platform easier to reach out to businesses.
Yeah, and also something that we've spoken about, which is an exciting um, opportunity for community energy, is that there'll be so many people that walk by solar panels on a school roof on the way to work, or drive by um, a wind turbine in a field, and they don't realise that they have a direct link to that relevant sustainable asset. So that would be, if there are groups in here that want to use us to help them get in touch with local professional organisations, and 100% get in touch, and that is something that we'd love to kind of help facilitate those kind of relationships.
Mm. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, and related question as well, and are there more volunteers in urban areas versus rural areas, and how do we, yeah, fill that geographical spread to give better coverage? Oh, is Ewan frozen for everyone else, or is it just me? Or have I frozen?
Yeah, I think it's frozen for everybody.
Okay. Well, yeah, I think we were drawing to the end of Ewan's participation there. I think, yeah, brilliant hour from Ewan there on the platform and the tool. Um, yeah, if he rejoins, we can give him a round of applause. But otherwise, I'll carry on with the kind of closeout remarks. And then, yeah, if Ewan reappears, we can give our thanks. Um, yeah, so thanks for all your questions. The recording will be available on our YouTube channel, if you want to refer back to anything and share with anyone who couldn't make it today. Just want to quickly make you aware of some other resources and events coming up that you can support, and will be of help to your organisations. At Community Energy England, we have a national map of community energy projects and locations. It's one of the kind of, yeah, most visited parts of our website. Really great visual of what's happening across the country. If your projects aren't on there yet, it's a good way to kind of build networks and gain visibility. This week, we've also launched through the Energy Learning Network a new community wind project mapping tool called votewind.org. This is a great open source website to make it far easier for communities to find viable sites for wind turbines, taking into account planning constraints and wind speeds. So hopefully we'll speed up the whole feasibility process for community wind. And yeah, we're developing the whole range of resources and previous webinars on our how-to pages and Energy Learning Network pages on our website, as well as keeping up to the latest funding opportunities, like the Great British Energy Community Fund, which is available through some of the hubs at the moment. Yeah, so just want to, before we sign off, remind everybody that Community Energy England is a membership organisation working to connect and give a voice to the sector. If you're not already a member, we encourage you to join. We have membership available for obviously community energy organisations, but also local authorities and corporate membership available too. It's open to any organisation that shares our vision, is looking to pursue or support community energy. Um, yeah, and yeah, we're covering an increasingly wide range of projects and services, from generation through to energy advice, partnerships with local authorities, churches. As I think Ewan shared, the various categories of volunteers that we need in our organisations. It's not just technical expertise, it's legal, it's communications. Yeah, the people and communication side is a very big part of community energy as well. So everyone has something to contribute really to the movement. So yeah, yeah, do consider joining us. Details of how to join are on our website. It helps us to have a stronger voice to the government and the wider sector. We can better share learning around our networks. The more connections we make, as this platform demonstrates, the better we can all be. So thank you, Ewan. Thank you very much, Unity, for doing all you do. And yeah, look forward to exploring this Community Energy Connect platform further.